Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be talking about some of the trends that are going on in Dota right now. Basically, I want to catch you guys up to the meta. This is going to be based around items, heroes, and general strategies that are very popular right now. Things I've been seeing in my pubs, in your pubs, and in pro games. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, on top of that, go sign up to the gameleap website, guys. I'm posting new content over there almost every day, and I'll see you there. The first thing I want to talk about is Vessel. Vessel stonks are way up. This item has become a lot more popular after the recent patch for a couple of reasons. Earn is cheaper. Earn builds from Circlet, so now it builds from very convenient starting items. And on top of that, Vessel is now just a much better item, especially for core heroes. I would say it's also still very good on sup. In fact, maybe it's even bought more on supports. But it builds from Diadem, right? And so it has stats, all stats. It's very good on universal heroes like Enigma or Veno, but it's also just very popular on, as I said, support heroes because it's just a cheaper item. Not by some insane amount, but enough, right? You're a support at the end of the day. You have a very limited amount of gold, and getting the item a minute faster or a minute and a half faster can be the difference. And for an item like Earn, it's a huge difference. You get this item quite a bit faster due to the convenient build-up and the price reduction. And on top of that, Vessel has been buffed a lot, right? This item used to be about, I think it was like a 45% or a 50% heal reduction item. Now it is 70%. So when someone pops their magic wand or gets healed by anything, a Dazzle, a Chen, whatever it is, they just don't really get healed, and it lasts for a long time. And so this item is very, very strong. If the enemy does not have dispels, it is the strongest item in the game. It just does way too much damage and way too much heal reduction, which works on all forms of healing. So it's very overpowered in the right games. Okay, next up is drums. I would still say drums are very popular, standard item. Not going to spend too much time. Just want to say for all these support players, very good item to buy. Same thing for Solar Crest. I kind of say the same thing in all of these trend videos, that these are still like kind of the two top items. Obviously Force Staff and Glimmer Cape mixed in as well, but I would say drums and Solar Crest, due to the convenient build-up, still stay on top. Okay, next up is Helm of the Dominator. Helm of the Dominator is a very interesting one, and I actually think that the item might even start being picked up on a whole variety of heroes. I think people are starting to realize how good even Helm Dom 1 is as an item. It has very nice overall stats, just solid, not insane, but solid. And really the big thing is that this item has been buffed over and over and over again. Here's a couple of the buffs. Number one, the item, when you use it, gives you the full XP and gold of the creep you convert. So in past iterations of Dota, you would convert the creep and get nothing. Now on a 45-second cooldown, you basically insta-farm a creep game, or a large creep. Very efficient. And if you upgrade the item to Helm Dom 2, it's the same thing on a big ancient creep, which is very, very efficient for certain heroes. An instance of this is that Enigma players, it's becoming a very popular build, might make a video on it, are now buying Helm Dom 2 first or second item because of the farming pace that this item actually gives. It allows you to scale into the late game. It's a pretty good tempo item, and then it allows you to scale into the late game because it's just such a farm amping item. Yeah, another thing about this item is it now builds from Crown, and so it's cheaper, funny enough, kind of like Earn. It's cheaper, and it builds from, again, a very convenient early game item in Crown. It used to build from Diadem, or Diadem, whatever that item's called, the 1,000 gold stat item. Now it builds from Crown, which is a way faster item, right, in terms of when you get it, and the stats per gold are much more efficient than Diadem. So it really is a better item, and I think people are going to be buying on heroes like Venge. I heard it was bought on. I think it's going to be potentially bought on support heroes. I could even see it on stuff like Nature's Prophet. I think it's totally viable, like after you buy your Vessel Shard, just picking up a Helm Dom, and, you know, pushing waves with your trees and your Helm Dom creep, and just like kind of overall scaling into the game is not bad. So yeah, I would just keep your eyes out for this item. I think it's a lot more flexible than people realize. Okay, now let's talk about heroes a little bit. First off, we have Death Prophet. I think Death Prophet is going to become probably the most important flex of the patch, or sorry, outside of the heroes that get permabanned. There's quite a few flex heroes in Dota right now, for instance, like Doom and Kunga at the highest level. Doom is, like, funny enough, one of the lowest winner heroes in average pubs, and yet it is first phase pick ban, not every game, but in a lot of games at the highest level. But I think DP, out of all the heroes that aren't banned, DP is probably going to become very popular. The main reason why it's a strong hero is, I would say, two reasons. First of all, in the pro scene, it's flexible, so it can go from mid to off lane, but even in your average pubs, it just doesn't really have losing early game matchups. So it's kind of one of those mids, especially let's say you have to pick second phase and you're like, I don't want to get counterpicked, right? I'm afraid of the cheesy Huskar player, the cheesy Puck player, you know, Monkey King player, you know, you just pick DP, and she really does have like no real losing matchup. Everything is at least playable, if not hard winning. Like, you can dumpster a lot of melee heroes. Even range heroes. I've seen DPs beat Quaps. I've seen DP beat Puck. This hero just does a lot. And the second thing it gives is damage, right? It kind of just gives you, or third, sorry, whatever, you get the point, guys. It gives a lot. It gives damage. So in any draft, you need a source of damage, a heavy source of damage. And then all you have to do with DP is just kind of draft stuns or saves around it, optimally both. And this hero will kind of just deal all of the damage. So it's very easy to draft around, very easy to play around. It takes towers, it takes Roche. The Ags build is really cool. So I see DP stonks going up. Next up is Batrider with the Stoked facet. I think this hero as a sup is very, very strong. It just requires a strong understanding of Dota and the hero, but definitely worth checking out. Next up is the Darkseer train is slowing down. Now, I don't want to say the train is out of commission, because the reality of the hero is that it just gives you damage. It gives you wave shove. It gives you a very easy way to see the game, especially at the highest level, right? You're going to pick Tusk, Clockwork, a Sven, Alchemist, Ember Spirit, Tiny. You're going to want to pick these heroes, and you're going to have Wave Shove, specifically Ghost Push. And Ghost Push and Ghost Wave Shove, guys, is one of the most important things in Dota. If you don't know what that means, it means you can kill creep waves without showing your hero, right? All you have to do is put a shell on the wave, and it's going to kill 1 to 2 creep waves. However, they did recently nerf the hero very hard, nerfing the duration of Ion Shell by 4 seconds, from 30 seconds to 26 seconds at max level. This is very significant because it will just kind of make you lose a lot of damage throughout the game. Whether or not it expires on you, creeps, your allies, whatever it is, you lose a lot of damage. And so yeah, this ability is quite a bit worse now. However, that is why it's slowing down, but it's not that bad. It still gives you kind of the same things it gives in the past, which is an Aura Buyer, really good team fight, and good wave shove. It just gives you everything. And so yeah, the train is slowing down, but it's certainly still in commission. Just about a 50% win rate hero. Next up is Medusa is finally balanced. I think Medusa is still a very viable hero in the right games. You know, if you see an AA and you want a carry that doesn't insta-die to AA, you know, pick up a Medusa. If you're against Doom and you don't want to insta-die to Doom, you can pick a Medusa. You know what I mean? If it's good matchups, it's good matchups. The hero is definitely playable. It still flash farms with Manta style, very strong, but it's balanced, especially considering, you know, the Meteor Hammer build that was very cool. I actually love stuff like that, is not very good anymore. The problem is they nerfed the E a bit too hard. They nerfed the hero's early game a bit too hard with the W and the E nerfs. And so, yeah, I would say because of that, the hero is more of just back to its old flash farming style. Playing tempo is possible, but not what it used to be. Next up is Undying Off. Undying Offlane, guys, is becoming hyper popular. I would say the main reason for this is it's one of the only heroes that is, I would say, near impossible to counterbait. It's exceptionally difficult to lose lane with Undying Offlane as long as you pair it with, honestly, I was going to say any range disable, but even most melee heroes lane perfectly fine with Undying. Pair it with a Tusk, it's going to do great. Pair it with Marcy, that lane is hell. Pair it with a Bounty Hunter, you're still going to do very, very well. You know what I mean? As long as the bounty, you know, sets up a couple of goes. And so, yeah, it's just become kind of one of the staple flex picks of the pro scene, mainly because you can pick it early into a draft and then put it 5 or off lane. But I would say in your pubs, guys, don't be afraid to play this hero off lane. Basically, I'm going to make a video on it so you guys can, you know, see what it looks like at some point. But really what's overpowered about Undying offlane in the game is that it kind of just holds its area really, really well, right? If you try to go on Undying and you don't have the proper disable, he's going to click Flesh Golem, Tombstone, and Decay, and you're probably going to get turned on. He just holds his area very, very, very well. Most carries cannot consistently lane against Undying, right? He's just going to decay, 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 decay. All you have to do is buy Wand Soul Ring into like phase boots, and you just decay, decay, decay. And it kicks most heroes out of the lane, and then allows you to take the tower. It's just a very nice hero to play around. Scales very, very well. Its level 20 talent is one of my favorite in the game, Decay down by 2 seconds, bringing it down to a 2-second cooldown. So a lot of things going for this hero. Next up is Kunga Flex. Kind of mentioned it earlier, but this hero can play all 3 of the core roles, and it can buy like a whole variety of items. I think it's best with like Blade Mail to Radiance though. If you haven't played Blade Mail Radiance, BKB Sanjin Yasha Satanic Kunga, I highly recommend it. It's very strong. Next up is stacking is still OP. I literally say this in all the videos. I don't know. I hope they don't nerf stacking. I actually love stacking as a concept. I think it's very fun. It's very cool. There's a lot of different combos like Alk and, you know, just general stack takers that make stacking very overpowered. And I do fear that Valve is going to nerf it over time. I can't say this for sure, but I think they don't love stacking because it just makes people not fight. It's so efficient to stack, let's say the triangle in particular, that it just often incentivizes you not to make moves. Because if you, I'm not kidding guys, if you watch like certain games in the pro scene, you'll see people stack the triangle like 4, 5, 6 minutes in a row. I watched a Nature's Prophet game, I think it was Cuckoo, and he actually was stacking it at like minute 26 to 29, like each minute. And I'm just like, yeah, I mean, I don't blame the guy. I mean, it was a winning game. He's playing Nature's Prophet. He can be anywhere, anytime. Why not stack the triangle? So if you're not stacking the triangle when you have like heroes like Kunga or Timber or TAs or Bristles, you are missing out on how broken it actually is. If you have hard triangle stack takers, I mean, other stacks are good too, but especially the triangle hard takers, it's really broken. So just keep that in mind. And my final point for the video is Rune Control. Rune Control is something that I've been working a lot lately, and so I'd actually like to talk about some of my findings very briefly here. So Rune Control, what I'd say is really important here is understanding your matchups, right? So certain matchups just really require Rune Control, and it's not necessarily a hard concept, but there's a couple of factors that I like to think about as well that you might not think about. So here's what they are. The first one is, do I get there quickly? Is my hero fast? So for instance, if I'm playing, a hero that I've been playing a lot lately is Batrider Pause 5. This hero is very fast, and it fights one-on-one extremely well. The mid laner or the Pause 4, you know, doesn't matter. Whoever's in the area, I can fight them. I can also push them off the rune. So it makes a lot of sense to go to the rune, especially water runes, where they might not expect you, and you know, you can get there very quickly as Batrider. However, if I'm playing something like Warlock, I mean, I still might, because if a fight breaks out, I'll get a Black Grimoire charge, but I don't really want to. You don't fight one-on-one particularly well. You're not fast. And so in general, I'd rather just stay in my lane and stack the small camp, right? Because there's a trade-off to contesting runes. The next thing you want to think about, which is the more common knowledge, but important to refresh you guys on, is do the mid heroes even care about the runes, right? If you're playing against a Kunga or a DK who's buying 2 bracers and no bottle, it's a lot less important. Still important, a lot less important, especially the water runes. The power runes are still very important, just to make sure, you know, some Kunga doesn't get a haste, you know what I mean? So yeah, those are kind of the 2 main things. Is my hero even like good at it? Am I fast? And I think about this before the game. I think about a lot of things, by the way, guys, before the game. This is something I'll probably just like make a separate video on because it's really crucial. It's something that has elevated my gameplay a lot. But Rune Control is like giga one of them, and that applies to both the sup roles and the mid laner. You gotta be paying attention, especially the 6, 8, 10, 12 minute power runes, especially the 6-minute rune, guys. Just to be clear, at the highest level, whoever gets the 6-minute rune will usually have like hard control over the wisdoms or like a huge advantage. Obviously, sometimes not the case, depending on how the side lanes are going or like what the mid heroes are, right? If like DP doesn't get the rune, she probably can still fight the wisdom rune as well as the guy with the rune, you know, just because of how the heroes function. But yeah, that's gonna be all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Just want to keep you guys updated on some of the trends, some of the things going on right now, and I'll see you in the next one.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace!